Hi, we'll see today this fuel indicator. On the front there is a knob in order to set the index in red. There is also an analog indication of the fuel quantity from 0 to 12 tons. And there is also a digital display with the coding wheels here. So this is a small instrument. This was manufactured by Siemens Precision, serial number 250. On the rear there is a connector. So the pins are larger than usual. And we can see that there is also this small plate which can move and to get access to some adjustments. We have a pair of fuel empty adjustments, and as you can see, it is possible to remove this thing. Usually these kind of fuel indicators are totally sealed. This one has 4 screws here, so it is possible to take it apart without damaging the enclosure. This thing was repaired, as you can see, by Repaircraft PLC in UK. So first, let's see what is inside, and after I will try to make it work. Okay, this thing is very nice. So first we can see the adjustment of the index. So the index is mechanically linked to this potentiometer. And then there is a servo control loop. The feedback is provided obviously by this potentiometer. And there is a motor, so I think it is an AC motor. On the front there is also a relay. So this one is probably used for the index setting. So when the value is above the setting, the relay is turned on or off. And on the rear of the instrument we have different PCBs. 4 exactly. So one is obviously the power supply. There is a transformer, a toroidal transformer here, and one op-amp or maybe a regulator. So there is a kind of Kapton film. I will remove this thing. We have a better view on the PCBs. So this thing is quite complex, and we can see that we have several op-amps on this board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the second one we have 2 ICs. I cannot see the reference. And on this one there is one op-amp here, probably. On the toroidal transformer we have already seen. A few capacitors, one transistor here. And on the last board we have a few capacitors. So this is obviously the power supply board. This is the filtering capacitors, and probably tantalum capacitors, 15 volts working voltage. So I don't like this kind of construction for the reverse engineering. It is very difficult because you need to remove everything in order to see the board one by one. And generally I need also to desolder all wires. So this is a little bit painful and complicated. And we can see the trimmers on the rear of this instrument. The 4 trimmers corresponding to the empty and full adjustments. So we have effectively 4 trimmers. I don't want to do a reverse engineering of this thing. It will take a long time, maybe 2 days. So what I will do is that I will try to make it work without any schematics, just by analyzing the pins and the impedances, etc. So first we can expect that some contacts of the relay are connected to the rear connector. So what we can do is to search first for some connections between the relay and the pins of the rear connector. So let's start, for example, with this pin here. Okay, so we have a contact here, another one, this one, okay, it is closed, and this one also. Okay, so I think we have a common, okay, so we have the 3 terminals here which are used for the relay. So I will write first the pinout of the connector. It is difficult to see, but there are actually 2 pins which are not connected. Maybe 3. I try to see which ones. Number 7. And there is another one, which is number 2. Okay, so number 2 is not used as well. Okay, so then we can search, for example, for the primary side of the transformer. Okay, so there is a resistance of 90 ohms between these 2 terminals. And I'm checking that these pins are isolated. It is the case. So there is a good chance that these 2 pins are the power supply input. Pin 11 and 12. So 11 and 12, there is 90 ohms. Okay, so the remaining pins are 5, 6, 1, 13. So let's see if we can find the ground. One method is to find the power supply of an IC. So we can try the feedback potentiometer. Generally, one side of the potentiometer is connected to the ground. So let's see if we find something. So this is maybe number 3 or number 1. So let's start with number 3. And this is 10 ohms. And this is maybe a good candidate. This is number 5. Yeah, so it is connected also to pin 7 of this IC. So this IC is probably a logic IC in ceramic package. So this should be the ground. So this is terminal number 5. So there is maybe a resistor between the low side of the potentiometer and the ground in order to have minimum voltage, in order to be able to have the feedback in all conditions. Okay, and then we have the other terminals for the input voltage, for the fuel quantity, number 1, 6, 3, and 13. So we have 4 terminals here, which are unknown for the moment. For the moment, we can apply an AC voltage and see what happens. I have connected the power supply input to a 115 volt power supply, 400 Hz, and I have connected the resistor decade box in series because I'm not sure if the voltage is 115 or 26 volts AC. So I guess that it is 115, but in order to avoid the destruction of this thing, I prefer to use the resistor in series. So for the moment, the resistor is 1 kilo ohm. So I will turn on the power supply. Okay. So I will measure the voltage across the power supply input of this indicator. Okay, the voltage is 95 volts. So effectively, the power supply input is 115. So I will remove the resistor decade box. Okay, so I have connected the DC power supply from pin 5, which is effectively the ground, and pin 6. Okay, and this effectively works. The input voltage should be 10 volts in order to have 12 tons of fuel. Currently the voltage is 3.5 volts approximately. I will increase the voltage to 5 volts. Okay, you can hear the relay. input voltage is now 10 volts approximately. Actually, the relay is activated even if the needle is not to the stable position. Okay, so minimum voltage is required at the input. There may be an adjustment for that. Okay, so input voltage is 0.4 volt. So I don't know the purpose of the other pins, 1, 3, 13. So there is maybe one pin in order to select one among two inputs, but I don't know. But anyway, this instrument seems working. This was the teardown and test about this fuel indicator. As you can see, it is possible to make it work without any documentation. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.